Any exciting plans the rest of your day?
The rest of today, I'm going to get a McRib because I deserve it.
You
I'm
do.
going to,
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm getting off this. I'm going to put on my coat and I'm walking 4 blocks to go to a McDonald's and get a McRib because I've
Oh,
been thinking about it today.
some fresh air, some good in quotes good food.
It really is like heavy quotes.
Hi, I'm Brad. Where are you calling from?
From Fort Wayne, Indiana.
I'm calling from the Netherlands.
I'm calling from Queens, New York.
And wherever you are, welcome to Blond Radio. Hi, I'm Brad. I live on the west coast of Canada. It doesn't feel like it's halfway through December, but that might be the fact I haven't seen a Christmas movie yet this year. And welcome to Blond Radio, where every week I book calls with strangers from around the world. I'd like to take a moment at the top here to announce something. Blond Radio is now officially streaming on Twitch. Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 2 p.m. PST, you can come on by and hang out with us. We play games, have fun conversations, and just hang out. It's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Today we'll talk to Sophia, a student who's training to be a professional ballerina, Gerb, who's putting his unique vision into collages, and Manoli, whose drive and dreams have found him an audience. But first, this week at Blond Radio on Instagram, I gave you a prompt. What do you want to leave behind in this life? Here's what you had to say.
Hi, I'm Dylan. I'm calling from Syracuse, New York. And for me, thinking about what's gonna be behind when I'm gone is really interesting. The first thing that comes to mind is memories. Once I'm gone, I want my friends and my family to be able to look back and remember our time together.
Hi Brad, my name's Lena. I'm calling from Ukraine. There's something that I want to leave behind is mostly the thing that can inspire other people. There's so much things that other people do and create that inspires me that I want also to be that person or to leave something that will inspire others. It's kind of typical, but this is exactly what I want.
Hi, I'm Boris. I'm calling from Moscow. What I want to leave behind is a memory in some people's lives. Maybe it sounds selfish, but it's really nice to think that when you're gone, someone's gonna remember you in a good way.
Hi, my name is Ashley, and I'm calling from Michigan. I want to be able to leave behind a seed of passion when I leave this life. It might sound cheesy or cliche, but it's true. I think back to how many people I've lost in my life who I carry with me today through the passion that they were able to show me that bled into my own passions. Reading. My best friend growing up was my great aunt, and unfortunately lost her to chemo, but I still have the book series sitting on the bookshelf that she gave me. Now I'm a collector of over 300 books. I always think about how much joy she got from it and how I get so much joy from it, and I just think it was a really cool experience.
Hey, my name's Sebastian. I'm from Costa Rica, and what I want to leave behind this life is definitely a legacy, a mark on my countries and the world's music scene, make a name for myself, basically change history and how music is culturally perceived in my country.
Thanks to everyone for submitting their responses, and we'll hear more answers throughout today's show. Hello?
Hello there.
Awesome. How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Awesome. I'm Brad. Nice to formally meet you.
Hello, I'm Sophia. It's lovely to meet you.
So glad we can make this work.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Of course. And then where are you calling from?
So I'm calling from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Awesome.
Well, Indiana, United States. I'm bad.
Me too, don't worry. All the states are a blur to me being from Canada.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
I guess off the bat, just sort of give me the pitch on you. You know how this goes, who you are,
Yeah.
what you do,
Okay.
and what got you to where you are today.
Oh, that's such a crazy story. Oh, I don't even know where to begin. So I am a pre-professional ballerina. Saying that makes the little kid inside me so happy because I never thought I'd be here. I'm originally from a whole other state. I'm originally from Pennsylvania, and I moved down here. my senior year in the middle of a pandemic to dance, which is crazy. I had to leave my boyfriend home. I had to leave all my like best friends and everything. Like if you told me my freshman year that I would be moving my 12th grade year to dance in a pre-professional dance studio in Indiana, I would not have believed you at all. It's quite a crazy time.
When did you realize that like dancing was your thing?
So I realized it from the day I could like walk and like make comprehensive thought patterns. The problem was my family couldn't really make that work. My dad is a high-ranking military officer, and I was born on Christmas Day, 2001. So 9/11 happened right before that. And like the week after, my dad got called and deployed, and he was always like on tours or on deployment, like until I was about 12. So that was really crazy. And my mom had a really rough time parenting 4 other girls to keep me on track because I am nothing short of energetic. She unfortunately struggled with a lot of things personally, and like it never really happened until my freshman year of high school, where I went to like a very heavy academic school. I mean, I don't know if you know what AP classes are. AP basically, like advanced placement classes. You had to take 3 of those in order to graduate, and the rest of your classes were like high honor roll classes.
Oh, shoot.
So as much as I love like academia and everything, I don't. But my school had this wonderful dance program. Ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to dance. Like my next door neighbor danced at a local studio, and anytime over the summer, we would be like dancing in the backyard or dancing in the front yard and just jumping around all the time. It was so fun.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah.
And from your feeds and what I've got to know of you through the Discord server, you strike me as a very like creatively inclined person. But what is it about dance? What does it provide that no other medium or art form can for you?
Oh boy, I think it's the confidence and the fact that I can only focus on dance when I'm doing it, because ballet is not easy. Ballet is not easy. All the professionals and everyone you see makes it look so graceful, but like it takes so much muscle and strength. So I actually really struggle with like letting people know I'm creative. Like when I first joined the Discord server, it was really like a giant leap for me because I have awful social anxiety, and you know, COVID running through the States right now doesn't really help either.
Yeah.
But I can't reach out to people without like immediately like regretting it afterwards. So jumping onto the Discord server was a huge leap of faith for me, and I do not regret it one bit. Everyone there is so lovely.
Oh, they really are.
Yeah, right. But things with art and painting and like literature and all of that, like I don't like to let people know that like, this is gonna sound so bad, I don't like to let people know that like I'm good at those things, or like I like to do them, because I feel like someone someday is just gonna be like, share some talent with the rest of us, and then I will immediately feel awful.
Yeah, sometimes the spotlight, I don't know, I feel similarly. The tiny little things I feel really confident with and comfortable with, sometimes I'm a little apprehensive to share them because people notice, and maybe it's like the introvert inside all of us that's like, no.
Yeah, and it's such an oxymoron, but I would rather be dancing on a stage in front of thousands of people who can't say anything than in front of like 3 people auditioning me.
I think that makes sense. Now, I noticed on your Instagram, you have this link in your bio to this TED Talk, which I found really fascinating. The TED Talk was titled, "How the Worst Moments in Our Lives Make Us Who We Are." Curious as to what draws you to that concept.
I'm so glad you went through that. Okay, so with my mom and dad not really meaning to be together, like not meant for each other, there have been a lot of like familial issues and like things like that where my parents eventually ended up getting divorced. But I have 3 older sisters, conveniently all 9 years apart, except there's a set of twins, so it's not really that bad. But my oldest sister is 18 years older than I am. So when I was struggling a lot with like my parents' marriage and their relationship, and coming of age as a teenager and like not knowing what to like do, or not knowing how to think, and just really feeling hopeless. My sister showed me that TED Talk because she went to medical school to become a nurse, and now she is such an amazing nurse. Like, she's so good at her job. She showed me that TED Talk, and I never really understood what it meant, because I'm not sure if you watched it, but there's a line repeated by this man: build meaning and forge identity. Of course, I was just like, oh my gosh, those are just words. Like, I don't understand that at all. But now, being 18 and having a much better view on the world, and still I'm going to continue learning and growing as a person. Building meaning and forging identity is so important to me. And I don't want to sound so self-pitying, but I have not had like the easiest life either.
Yeah.
I was diagnosed with severe anxiety and bipolar disorder. Makes living like kind of really complicated.
Yeah.
Going through all of 2020 and the pandemic, and dealing with my dad coming home from massive wars and not being really a person, and living through like other significant traumas, that hearing the like speaker of the TED Talk talk about his own experiences, and especially the one where he was a journalist in Russia, where all of the protesters came up in front of a tank and asked the tank drivers, just give us some minutes, let us have some of your time, let us explain to you why we are here. And then they said, if you give us enough room to turn around, we will turn around and forget this ever happened. And just hearing about how all of these people can go through such hard and awful times and coming out these better and stronger people just gives me hope.
Especially now more than ever.
Yeah, so I love that TED Talk so much.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
And then you touched on this a little bit, but maybe in a broader scope, you strike me as someone who's very shaped by their art and the things that you enjoy. What part of art plays into your personal identity? Grace
And beauty. I love Renaissance art, and I absolutely love accidental Renaissance art.
Yes.
Where it's so good, and I really just love feeling graceful. Like, there's nothing better than doing like a really complicated ballet combination and then landing it perfectly. And it's just, I find a lot of beauty in calm flow. So I like to just be like that, I guess. I don't know, it's hard to describe, but if art is one of the most beautiful things in life, like in my opinion, then we should at least try to embrace it.
For sure. Yeah. And there's so much room for exploration, experimentation, self-discovery. I don't think I'd be the person I am today if I, hadn't consumed the art I have and then made the works and projects that I have,
Yeah, it's really, I like to say that I am a amalgamation of everybody I have ever met.
I've recently started dating someone, and
Ooh.
yeah it's very lovely, but ain't that the truth? Picking up on each other's mannerisms and starting to say things that the other person says, it's quite a lot of fun.
Yeah, me and my boyfriend are exactly like that too.
Totally.
Yeah.
Sophia, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day and speaking with me, but in closing, what advice would you give to someone who's interested in honing their craft? You've obviously spent so much time with your passion, with dance. What would you say to someone who's struggling to keep committed to something?
Never forget where you came from, because beginnings are only just that. They are beginnings, and there's always room to keep going forward. It doesn't matter if you're old, you're young. Never let go of that kid inside of you who wanted to do that craft so badly. That's my advice.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Like, I have a lot to past Brad needs his dreams fulfilled. So
I agree.
Yeah, it's kind of our duty there. And then future Brad's gonna be disappointed, if he doesn't accomplish it. So we're kind of stuck on both ends here, and just gotta make them work.
Yeah, exactly. There's a phrase I really love that one of my old English teachers told me, and it was, curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back.
That's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and I live by that.
For sure. And by the sounds of it, you're well on your way, and I can't wait to see where you end up.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much for sharing your words and your story. It's very appreciated.
Yeah, thank you.
And then we'll definitely be in touch. I'll talk to you later.
Yes, thank you. I'll talk to you later too.
For sure. Ciao.
Ciao.
Hey Brad, my name's Noah. I'm calling from California in the United States. And something that I want to leave behind is a message that can teach people calmness, passion, and maybe help them realize their potential, whether it be through film, music, or videos, as long as it helps one person.
Hey Brad, it's Mia from Sydney, Australia. I want to leave behind something that inspires someone or helps them. Because I make music, so if somebody heard my song and, I don't know, decided, you know what, maybe I should start making my own music. Anything along those lines, that would mean the world to me, dude. I think if somebody told me that, I'd probably cry a little bit. Just because, I'd be so happy,
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Doing good, can't complain.
It's been pretty good. Made my first analog collage today, so I printed out a bunch of stuff.
Oh, shoot. Good for you, man.
Yeah, man, it's been a really productive day.
It's great to hear. And
how was your day?
I live on the west coast of Canada, so it's just rain all the time. So it's a little dreary, but scripting out some videos, hoping to get some stuff done. I'm pretty excited.
That's good to hear, man. I saw some pretty exciting stuff also on Instagram and
that's
recording on Twitch. It's really cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to start streaming. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm Brad. Nice to meet you. And is it Gerb?
Yeah, it's Gerb.
Awesome. And where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the Netherlands.
Right. Yes. I saw in your messages. Sweet. I think just off the bat, just give me the pitch on you, who you are, what you do, and what got you to where you are today.
I'm Gerb. I'm a graphic designer who is focused mainly on collages right now.
Mm-hmm.
I got here because I never really got a certain art style. I think a lot of artists have this, that they don't really know what to do, so they just figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm going right now. I just started this 2 years ago, I think, and I've seen a lot of growth, not only in my numbers, but also as me as a person. I think that's really cool that something that I enjoy, I get to share that around, and other people see it and they say whoa, I like it so much, I'm going to follow you on your journey. And I think that's really cool to stand by it, that there are people in this world that I don't even know and they just like my art. I'm just this guy in his room creating all day.
Totally.
And I love to express my feelings in my art. That's why every art piece is different. There's not really a certain style to it, it's everything and nothing at once.
Totally. And as you're speaking to, I think that's a huge milestone for a lot of artists, is to receive that validation from someone that doesn't even know, who you are as a person. They are attached to your work solely for the work.
Exactly. And that's the thing. That's why I don't really show my face, because I want the artwork to be the face. That's the whole thing about me. I don't really want to be on the front stage to shout off the roof here, I'm here, and if you want to follow me, you can, but I'm not going to change my art because the algorithm isn't liking it or it's not the hype. It's just my experience and feelings on the canvas, really.
I really appreciate that. How did you discover collages? To an outside perspective, it's a pretty niche field of art.
Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of different subgenres of the collage spectrum, but I found out because a good friend of mine, made by Motel, he's also a great designer. He started this. I got so inspired by his dreamlike visions that I wanted to try it for myself. And I was at this point in my career that I didn't really know what path I wanted to do, because if you see on my Instagram, there's a lot of different stuff all around, because I'm never sure what to settle on. And I think it's good if you can settle on something, but it's not something for me. I'm always trying to have this inspiration booth to try something new. So today I actually made the collages myself instead of digital, so I cut and pasted everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really curious about the reaction that people had, and it was a good reaction, so I'm definitely gonna try to explore this way even more.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of inspiration comes from old posters from the 80s and 70s, because that's just a whole nother field of artwork, because in those days they didn't really have the equipment to do 3D stuff, or they had to put it in a certain way that it worked. And I really like it that I took bits of that aesthetic, put a twist on it, and make myself something of it.
For sure. It's definitely your own thing. As diverse and unique as each of your pieces feel, at least to me, I can also feel this through line. It feels, I don't know. I like your style.
Thank you, man. It feels familiar some way. There are colors used or a certain tone on a certain piece that really resembles a lot of people, not just me, because we all have like these bad days, and I needed to find like something to express myself. And I think what better way to share my art randomly? So it's just my art. You can't say I don't like this person, so I don't like the art, because it's just a page. Something I've been really working on to develop a certain way to, I guess you can say, like, to get it on my own, because I really wanted to prove people that I didn't want to follow the sheeps, if that makes sense.
Yeah, forging your own
Because
path.
yeah, exactly. Because I'm from a small town and people are really close-minded. So if you do something different than what your neighbor does, it's automatically weird.
That's unfortunate. Well, we like weird here, so it's very welcome.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
good to know.
How does the process work? Do you start with an end goal in mind for a piece, or is getting there part of the work?
It's really the journey to the work. It's like I can start with an idea. At the end, it will be a different art piece, and I think that's really beautiful because, like, I'm thinking to myself, how did I end up here? Like, I just opened this file and now this piece is right here. It's like my imagination. And sometimes I forget that not all people can make something out of nothing because they're just ideas. Usually, because I'm a pretty chaotic person, I just write them down in my notes and then later visualize it.
Damn. Well, I'm glad it's working out for you.
Yeah, man, I'm really happy that I can like make money and inspire other people to do the same. And it's a really, really good opportunity to be out here.
Do you ever hit creative blocks? And, if
Yes.
so, what do you find helps you move past them?
As much as I would say to just try it, it's actually really good to just take a step back. Not open your Photoshop or whatever program you're working on, or if you're an artist that just draws. It's really important to take the rest too, because we are not all machines. We can't just produce everything at once. Robots are for that.
Yeah.
And we are just people that try to explain or show some pretty cool art. So what I would say is take your time. If you have an audience and you think, oh no, they're gonna leave me because I'm not posting, you will find a new audience that will be there for you even if you don't post. Because if people love your work, then it's really easy to build a community that doesn't really involve to posting every day or posting once a week. Just post when you want. It's your account, it's your mind. And if you think I need a time off, just take your time off, go outside, do something completely different, and creativity will come back.
I really appreciate that advice. That's really cool. Gerb, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to speak with me. But in closing, I was wondering, what advice would you give to someone to keep pushing forward? We spoke to this a little bit, but art a bit at times relies on people seeing it. Sometimes it can be hard to find an audience. But I think I saw on one of your recent posts, you doubled your clients this year from last, which is, super cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to see similar progress?
I can say a whole piece of numbers that can resemble to that, but what I think is stay true to yourself. Don't change whatever you are doing right now. If you love what you're doing, you will get there. Trust me. If you love what you are doing, it's really easy to get influenced by other people and that they grow much faster than you. But the thing is, you don't need to watch to other people, but you got to watch to yourself from a year ago. If you see progression, that's a good thing.
That's really cool. Yeah, to an extent. You're really the only person you got to impress. And if you're doing yourself proud, then I think you're on the right path.
Exactly.
That's very sweet. Thank you, Gerb.
You're welcome. Thank you for taking your time to interview me too. I hope maybe people will be interested in watching something that I've made, and maybe they will laugh or they will feel something.
For sure. We'll definitely be in touch. I'll talk to you later, but I wish you a very good night.
I wish you a very good day, sir.
Sweet. Ciao.
Ciao.
Hey Brad, I'm calling from Vacaville, California. What I want to leave behind in this life is I want to leave behind my funky skeleton bones. Fuck yeah, dude. No, I'm not sending this in. I'm not.
Okay, well, hello. Nice to meet you. I'm Brad.
Brad Spinoli. It's a pleasure, brother.
Awesome. Great to finally hear from you. And your day's going good?
My day's going well. Just doing some work, fixing up some stuff. Can't complain. It's been a good day.
Awesome. Great to hear it. And then where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Queens, New York.
Okay, yeah. I definitely placing you on the East Coast somewhere. I guess off the bat, just sort of give me the pitch on you. Who are you? What you do, and what sort of got you to where you are today?
My name is Manoli. You may know me as Manoli Visuals. A lot of people seem to these days.
Yeah.
I am a 5'5" Greek with obscurely unproportional calves. I like to own that. I really like to start with that bit.
Yeah.
I've been content creating for well over a decade now. I'm 25 now. I started making skate videos when I was like 12 with my friends. That's how I'd say I got into content creation.
Mm-hmm.
I now video edit for myself and for Major League Baseball. I do a lot of social media for them. And I, on the side, have picked up a very strong keyboard addiction. I build mechanical keyboards, and that started beginning of COVID, where everyone was finding their new hobbies, and somehow this one absolutely engulfed my life.
And that, for me, coming from an outside perspective into your life, I initially took you as like, that was your thing. That was like your one thing, keyboard building / enthusiast. And I found your website and I'm like, man, this guy's doing everything. Photography, videography. Where do you find time for it all? How do you keep it all going?
Well, unfortunately, recently, from March, I haven't been doing too much of it. That's why a lot of my
I see.
I've always been big on making my own YouTube videos. Casey Neistat is like a massive inspo for me.
Yeah. I made the glasses.
Did you really?
Yeah,
wow.
I did.
Oh, that's so cool. I've seen that video probably like 100 times. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed making short filmy stuff on YouTube, whether it's just like a day I decided to go out and film and make something for it. And then photography is just kind of when I got my camera after graduating, which was amazing, super grateful for that. But I've gotten so much use out of that DSLR, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I was never big in photography. I was always in making videos. And then with that camera, I realized I have an incredible photography camera here. Like, let's do something with it. So I started getting somewhat of an eye for photography.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much any vacation, any city I'd go to, if I just walk around, my camera would be with me. And a lot of my friends can attest for how annoying I can be stopping to get a shot while we're like walking. So I had to start, when I'd go on vacations, take some time for myself to go out for an hour or two and go get my shots so I wouldn't drag everyone back when they're trying to walk, which was happening very frequently.
Totally know the vibe. Hey, just stand there for a second, or like, hey, wait up a minute. I'm right behind you. Just keep walking. It looks great. Yeah.
Just don't. I'm not even here.
Yeah. Awesome. So when did it sort of click for you? When did you first realize like you were creatively inclined?
So I was always like very deep indulged with like video games, but I've always really liked movies, but it always seemed kind of like, I never really thought about it like as trying to like pursue that from a young kid. Like I was probably like everyone else. Like I wanted to be a quarterback or be a baseball player. Like I feel like a lot of like everyone had like their kid of what I want to be when they grow up. And I started skateboarding with some friends from middle school. And I realized I was not very good at skateboarding. But one thing I could do to keep up with the crowd was my friends let me use their cell phones because I didn't have one at the time to like record me. And I started making skate videos with my friends, and I was became the filmer. I really owned that title by getting really, really good at editing to whatever extent I could, like cutting to music. I thought it was so much fun finding songs.
Yes.
Like whenever I would be like listening to the radio or listening to like music in general, I'd be like, oh, can I use that in a skate video? Like I bet that'll be really cool. And that kind of stuck from like, I'd say age 12 to, I probably stopped skating per se around like 17. So for those 5 years, that was like a lot of what my content creation was.
For sure. Even to this day, I can attest and sympathize and empathize. Like finding the perfect song for a video is it's so much more than people, I think, ascribe it. It is so important to get that really killer track.
I still like to this day, like for work or anything, like when I find the song, it is like the click that you feel is incredible.
Yeah. Listening to it 100 times after, just visualizing it, it's nothing beats it.
I made a playlist where it was like songs to make videos to, and I would just dump it and forget about it. And then if I needed inspo for a video, and if I really couldn't find it, I'd go through that playlist and like see if any of them click. And sometimes they would, sometimes there still wasn't that one.
That's really good. That's a really good idea. I'll maybe implement that.
Please, I highly encourage everyone to steal it who makes videos.
For sure. And transitioning to, back to keyboards a bit, I caught the end of your stream the other day, or it was a few days ago now, and I'm curious, because I'm just uneducated. What does it mean to have the best backspaces in the game? You're fiddling away at it, and you're like...
That's so funny.
Do tell.
I don't even know. That was like the first time I've ever claimed it. It's just like it seems like I've for some reason consistently been having very good sounding backspaces. But
oh, nice.
So So with keyboards, I individually, when I build a board, individually lube every single switch. And underneath the bigger ones, which are called modifiers, like the shift key, the space bar, the enter, the backspace. If you lift up on any keyboard, you'll see it's kind of like two prongs on the ends, and they're called stabilizers because they're larger keys. They need it to help balance it out, because if not, they just wobble or it just wouldn't work, essentially.
Right.
So you have to tune those, which is essentially like, once again, like lubing them. I use a grease. There is like a middle ground to what makes it sound good, but for some reason, my backspace is just always sound buttery. And I take a lot of pride in my backspaces.
I like it, even though it sounds like you're not 100% sure, why you're achieving that. But
I've been a firm believer in faking it till you make it. And
yes.
For some reason, I've just consistently had very good. Like, I think they all sound fine. I haven't had. I won't build a board if I don't like the sound of my modifiers. Right. But my backspace, for some reason, always just sounds the perfect amount of thocky.
Totally, love to hear it, man. And what would you say are the biggest misconceptions about keyboards and keyboard building? What do you think most people don't know?
I think it's really expensive, aside from like how like other people would say. Like, I feel like there's this big thing where it's like you build your own PC because it can be cheaper and you can make it better. But it is a drastically expensive, an aggressively expensive hobby. And that's kind of why like I've been interested in keyboards since probably like freshman year of college, which is like 8 years ago. I'd say the only reason I got into it recently is just working full-time job now for several years and just having the downtime to like sit and learn, that it was worth it, I'd say, to like kind of jump into it. I didn't expect for it to blow up the way it did. I just meant to build my own, and somehow got drastically addicted to building them. So I started kind of doing it for other people as well. But it is a pricey hobby to jump into.
Oh, for sure. And now that you're sort of immersed in it and you have this community, what's that like? What's it like having a community and getting sent products to test and stuff and all this crazy, awesome shit that's happening to you?
It's really cool. I've built a small community that I am so proud of. I love everyone in my, like, I've talked to a lot of the people that are like, I started on Twitch. Like, once I started getting my little following on TikTok, I started Twitch streaming my builds. And I had a couple people were in there when I was getting like 8 to like 11 people watching me every stream, which was crazy. That was like mind boggling. They're like, you should start a Discord. I'm still pretty new to Discord. I didn't start using it till this year, really. A lot of these people, like, I have become friends with. Like, my mods were just people who stumbled into my stream or found me on TikTok and requested the mod because they loved being in my streams. And now I consider them very close friends. I'd say I've been like looking for some sort of eyes on my content for like my entire life. Like, I've never cared about numbers because I feel like if you're looking for numbers, you aren't meant to make content. You're going to stop. If you're looking for likes, you're never going to last because it's so hard to have eyes on your stuff. Like, my skate videos never really got a lot of views, which was fine. I didn't really care. And then my YouTube videos, I did vlogs for a little bit, which are no longer on YouTube. But like the amount of time I've been making videos, I never really got, I think the most views I got was 1,000 views. It was the video I made on me moving to New York. And that was like, the fact that I broke 1,000 views was absolutely mind boggling to me. I couldn't believe it. That was the coolest thing ever. And then I made a TikTok, my first keyboard TikTok, after I actually made like comedy and edit ones just for fun, just to keep my mind like occupied during COVID.
For sure.
It broke like 100,000 likes in a couple days. And that was the craziest. I couldn't stop staring at the numbers because it's the most eyes I've ever had on one piece of work that I've made on my own. Like, that was the most rewarding feeling I think I ever have. And that kind of pushed me to keep making keyboard content because there was an audience for it. And thank God it was something I genuinely liked doing, because knowing me, if I had a video blow up and it was something I didn't like doing, I still would have leaned into it because I've just been searching for an audience for so long.
For sure.
But it's been really cool to see this like little community I have grow and become friends. And like, I know a lot of the people, like when I see Twitch names and I see people, like I talk to them, I know what's going on in their lives. Like, I keep tabs on everybody. And that's been so cool to see.
That's really lovely. Yeah, because for, a certain point, you're just making this stuff for you. You're making stuff that you enjoy, what makes you happy. But, beyond friends and family that may know you in your personal life, getting that outside motivation that has no connection to you as a person, and they're saying like this thing you made on its own has value, that's insane.
And I have fun with that. And that's all that really matters at this point.
You could not have said it better. That's all that really matters. If you're enjoying it and the people that are sticking around, if they enjoy it, that's all that counts.
Exactly. Once you can't rely on it because I don't think, because you'll just crash. Like, you can't become dependent because it sort of tests you at that point. What happens when it gets taken away?
Well, either way, you clearly have the drive. That shows, that's evident, and the perseverance. And you've come this far, and I can't wait to see where you go, man.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
Of course.
Same with you. I'm really excited. Like I said, I've been keeping tabs. I'm very excited to see how far you go with this. I can see you doing a lot with it. You have a very good concept going.
Thank you. That means a lot. I guess we'll find out.
No kidding.
Sweet.
Goes for both of us. No kidding.
Awesome. Well, in closing, I was wondering, what advice would you give to someone who wants to follow their passion, but it doesn't really seem sustainable or even like financially viable? What's the secret to finding your niche? What would you say to someone?
Casey Neistat, I don't remember what vlog or interview he said it in, but he had, when you work a job that you can't stand, you'll figure out what you want to do in life. And I've definitely experienced that myself through multiple different jobs and careers. But if it doesn't seem sustainable, don't put your whole being into it. Now, like when I say don't put your whole being, I mean don't invest everything you have into it. And by that, I mean like work a job that you can at least sustain yourself in. And then once you get off that job, if there's something you are interested in, do it. Do it then with all your heart. Don't bankrupt yourself and don't, because unfortunately, like a lot of this stuff is, I feel like a lot of people get the idea that they need to figure out a way, like drop out or quit and figure out a way to monetize. Not that it doesn't work for everybody, but find a job that you can sustain yourself and you can tolerate. And then outside of that, go hard. Go hard at whatever your passion is. For me, it's keyboards and making videos. If it's knitting, if it's making pins, if it's making videos, making vlogs, the second you get out of whatever is keeping you afloat, go hard on it and figure out your way. As long as you keep doing it and you keep doing it consistently, I'm convinced that you will find your audience. It might take days, weeks, months, years. If you stick with something long enough and you keep trying, I'm convinced you will find your audience.
Exactly. Ooh, another guest I had from New York dropped some really piece advice right near the start of this project. He's like, if you work at something every single day, it's impossible to get worse at it. So like,
that is incredible.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down. That is some of the best words of advice I've ever heard.
Yeah, because it's and to a certain degree, yeah, luck plays into it. But the work is a variable you have so much control over, how much you put into it. So yeah.
May I ask who said that?
Michael Cota, Cota. He also does TikTok to pursue art, and he's making a run at it, and he's really talented.
I'm writing his name down. I really like that.
It's a good one. Sweet.
Oh my god, amazing.
Very great. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much for chatting.
No problem, brother. I appreciate it.
Sweet. We'll be in touch. I'll talk to you later.
I appreciate it, man. I'll talk to you. You stay well.
Hey, you too. Ciao.
Cheers.
Special thanks to Sophia, Gerb, and Manoli for making this episode possible. I've tagged their accounts at blond.radio on Instagram. Intro music provided by Wayfie, that's Wayfie, and accompanying tracks by Lowboil, that's Loboil, who can both be found on all major streaming platforms. I'll see you soon, and thanks for tuning in to Blond Radio.